There's many things to talk about. So I have 2 videos that talking about the Chinese Genshin community. I have a tech tone video and then a non-tech tone video. So let's see, let's before our bias kicks in, let's watch the non-tech tone video.
What's going on, Picky fam? I hope you're having a lovely day. And there's a big update today on the 4.4 drama that has caused a huge disappointment, meltdown, and ultimately boycott of Genshin.
And the Genshin lost 100k followers on Twitter, by the way, so it's not just the Genshin Twitter. Dang, that's huge. That is huge. So it seems like it is taking trend. It is taking trend. That's good. That's good. That's a good thing.
Developers. So in today's video, I'm gonna do a deep dive and try to give a personal take on everything and answer to those who
they lost like 3 mil in the CN community. Oh, okay, yeah, 100k is not even close. We still have a lot of work to do. We still have a lot of work to do, but yeah, fucking take note, global community. You can't let them try to, you know, give you a little treat to hold you over when they've been starving you. If your guardians are not giving you dinner every night, and then you raise hell and you said, we're gonna stop working for you, and they're like, oh, well, here, how about I give you 2 carrots tonight instead of no dinner? No, you can't be like, yes, I'll take it. Thank you, Papa. We'll keep working for you. Thank you for your generosity. No, you're gonna keep striking and not doing your shit, and just don't give them anything, and then they'll give you what you're asking for. It's a bad analogy, but it is what it is.
Please leave them alone. So as you know, everything pretty much is going crazy right now.
Never take a first offer.
Kudos to the Chinese Genshin community that has taken these steps. Where the heck are we? As according to some sources, Genshin's Douyin account has lost more than 1 million followers today, dropping from 9.6 million to 8.5 million in 24 hours. And the reason was
even
dissatisfaction of the Chinese players with the game's New Year rewards, which they felt were
6
too
hours
meager.
ago.
As a result, the Chinese players decided to boycott the game and express their discontent on various social media platforms such as Douyin, Weibo, and Bilibili, which led to the
That's how you say that name? I thought it was Weibo.
developers of the game issue an apology and promise to improve the communication and feedback mechanisms with the players. They also announced some compensation and adjustments to the New Year rewards.
Like,
but this time, it's not sure whether it will appease the community and make them restore their trust in the game. Now, the situation in Chinese community is still tense and volatile, and the future of Genshin in China depends on how the developers handle this crisis and how the players respond to their actions. So, a big kudos to the Chinese community for taking a stand and expressing their opinions in a valid and legal way. Now, you might be wondering, where the heck is our global community? And why aren't we guys expressing our dissatisfaction on these rewards? Well, unfortunately,
because the entirety of the Genshin fucking American community is so feel good and wholesome, and they're sponsored, so they can't say anything bad about it or they'll lose their sponsorship. And then all of their community thinks that they actually think that way. So then they start to think that way, even though the people that are watching are not sponsored and they're just viewers and they're just Genshin players. So they take that mindset into themselves. So then they're like, you can't say anything bad about Genshin. No, not at all.
We have people who are more happy to fight within the community themselves by backing up this stupidity and justifying these by arguments like, oh, well, both Genshin and HSR are different. It's not okay to compare both of these games.
No, it is okay to compare the games, because they're both gacha games and they're both made by the same developer and they're both very differently treated. Their players are very differently treated.
And who cares? Well, we do, buddy. We care, because at the end of the day, Genshin is a game where players have invested not from 1-2 months, but almost 3 to 4 years. And to those thinking why both of these games' rewards are being compared, well, it's due to the fact that both of these gacha games are from the same parent company, that's Hoyoverse. Now, as I've said, Genshin player base is...
And the reason why Genshin has so much more than Star Rail is because so much more criticism than Star Rail is because it has been out for 2 or 3 years now. So all of these players have invested years worth of time into this game, wanting if you're spending 3 years of your life on a game, you want it to be good. You want it to be good. You invested that time into it. So you're wanting it to be good. In the continuing, you want it to continue to be good. And when it's just the same shit and you're not and it's just getting worse and worse and worse, you don't want to invest that time in it more. But you also don't want to lose all that time that you invested in it in the first place. So you should be criticizing it and should be wanting to make the game better.
It's not of 1-2
Star Rail
months,
can't
but
be said the same because it's only been out since
from
April.
3 to 4 years. And honestly, it gets very disheartening to see HSR get all the updates that Genshin players have wanted since the very beginning.
New road killer video, I
rewards,
know.
But what about things like
I
Sparla
know.
based endgame content? The community was requesting that since 1.6. And what did they do? Well, give a reason of anxiety, and they added the same endgame content in HSR's base update. So where's the anxiety now? Honestly, it's a tight slap on Genshin community as we see HSR get better and better after update and Genshin staying the same. Now, is the Genshin community against Honkai? Absolutely not. The only thing the loyal
No, they're not, because they also play Star Rail, which it doesn't make sense to me, because if they did play Star Rail and Genshin, they would want to make Genshin better to be like Star Rail.
fan base wants, who has still
it's all
not
copium.
abandoned Genshin, is to get the
yeah,
same treatment
copium.
as the other game. Now, being in the global community, I know it's okay if people don't want to fight about this issue, but equally,
I also
it's
think a
not
lot of
okay
people have
to
given up.
silence those voices who are genuinely expressing their concerns by bombarding their feed.
I have seen that a lot. I've seen a lot of people just give up. A lot of creators that have just given up on voicing their criticisms because they, for one, are met with backlash from the community. You can't say anything bad about my game. And two, nothing changes. So everyone gives up.
With vulgar comments and slurs, or by saying some stupid things like, haha, I love everything. Everything's well. No, it ain't. That's why the Chinese community took a step further and boycotted. Now, I believe the final nail in the coffin for these things to start was a free 5-star. I mean, they gave a free 5-star in Honkai, and not even a skin selector in Genshin's 4th biggest anniversary. Now, to those saying, well, we have already given up on Genshin, and we think the community has, I'd like to say no, it hasn't, because the global community had started spending 0.7 times more since the beginning.
I think one issue with Genshin not being able to get better is with the beta testing, because I feel like they don't beta test it as well as they should, and the reason for that is probably because of how bad the leaks are and used to be, so they don't really rely on the beta testing for versions. I'm assuming. That is literally, I am speculating here, but that is my thought.
Beginning of 4.0, which is a clear indicator that no, they haven't given up, but the recent situation has saddened a lot of players. So as a global community, what are we expecting right now? Well, a proper resolution, and no, not an increase of 10 fates or 20 fates. I mean a proper resolution. What the heck are you gonna give us in this anniversary, which will quite frankly restore the trust and faith in Genshin? Because at the end of the day, forget the money and invest.
Either, like, give us a roadmap. Give us a roadmap of what you want to change. Although I have a feeling they are not going to respond directly. They're not going to respond directly. They're going to slowly improve is my hope.
Investments. Most importantly, people have given the time in their life to this game that will never come back. So a free skin selector or a free 5-star isn't the least that they can do to
Haven't kept up with the beta leaks, but it was getting to the point where most of the changes weren't happening in the beta, but right before launch, so they couldn't be leaked. Yeah, and I that definitely says something about it, because I feel like if they didn't have a problem with leaks, they would get most of the problems resolved within the betas. If they actually have good beta testers that actually will, write in the bugs, write in what needs to change, tell them what exactly needs to be changed, and then have them have actual time to change those. But with all the leaks and all of that, how huge those leaks are, every fucking patch, every version, I doubt they're gonna really expand any of the beta testing.
Satisfy the player base? I mean, come on, man. Do I need to say more than that? Honestly, I'm a little depressed to witness all of this, but hopeful at the same time that after listening to this video or the Twitter, a little bit self-awareness comes in the community and they express their opinions in a valid and legal way, because the other community just did that. So that's it for today's video.
They started botting to
hope you
cover up the
understood the
unfollowing
situation.
incident instead of actually listening and giving us rewards. Wow. So they saw that they lost a bunch of followers on Twitter and they were like, all right, let's get our Twitter following back up so they don't realize that we did anything bad. That's fucking wild, bro. So nothing's gonna change. Nothing's gonna change. And I feel like God, people need to just stop. Like, stop spending on Genshin. Stop spending your time on Genshin. Yeah, has it ever changed? No. They'll give us maybe one good change a year. Why? Yeah, why would it be different now? What would the incentive be now? There is no reason why they would change anything, because their numbers stay the same. The money they pull in stays the same. So why should they change anything at all? And you know what's gonna happen? Nothing. Nothing's gonna happen, because everyone just will keep giving them money and their time. So nothing will ever change.